Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This week, I want to take a look at something coming out of the Invincible universe, and that is, of course, Battle Beast #1. Now, I'm sure a lot of us, being huge Invincible fans since the comic came out so long ago, and even through this, this recent times that the show has been on, and people have been grabbing the compendiums, they've been selling out everywhere. I'm sure some of you guys have had trouble even picking them up. It's really cool to see Invincible after all these years, like continue to grow and continue to expand, right? To see that universe and those characters like live on in their own ways is awesome. And when I saw Battle Beast coming up but in the previews, I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. And I actually got a really cool alt cover. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen this cover, right? I picked it up. I thought it was really cool. We're going to have a look at it today, and I want to talk about what I thought was really cool about it and what I thought fell a little flat about the debut issue. And by the way, of course, this is assuming everybody's already read all of Invincible or have seen enough of the show to know the fates of certain characters and the ends of certain storylines. So if you're somebody who hasn't read Invincible or seen Invincible yet on Amazon Prime or wherever you're watching it, definitely get familiar with the character before coming over to Battle Beast, I would say, because, massive spoilers. And I accidentally even will probably talk about some as we go here in the video. So yeah, just you've been warned. So let's have a look at Battle Beast #1 and see if it really lives up to the hype. Okay, guys, what a cover I have here. Now, I know nowadays variant covers, like how many covers do they release? If you're a guy who needs to have every cover, I feel sorry for you. If you're one of these completionist types who feels like they need to have all the variant covers of any specific issue, good luck, okay? Your bank is broken. I don't know how you make it through the month. I picked up this one cover. I thought it was the coolest of the bunch. There are quite a few cool ones, but I just really like this like 3D Battle Beast head. And it reminded me, of course, so much of that pivotal Battle Beast moment from the Invincible series. You know the one I'm talking about. During the Viltrumite War, right? Everybody, I'm not going to say it, but you all know. If you've read it, you know. The other thing is, what's really cool too is how well this is selling, right? Like, I get you must think it must be because of how well the Invincible show is doing, but it's pretty awesome how far Robert Kirkman has come since those early days, since like Battle Pope, which got a re-release, since Tech Jacket, which I'm going to talk about. It's pretty crazy to see, like, Skybound is the biggest imprint at Image, and Battle Beast outsold. I think I saw that Battle Beast outsold Batman by 100%. Is that correct? No, 1,000%. I think it's 1,000. I'll show you the chart. I'll show it to you. Anyway, pretty amazing how huge the Invincible universe is and how popular it is. That's cool. But there is some stuff that I found underwhelming, and which I was surprised by too. So anyway, it starts out with, your introduction of Battle Beast from Invincible. So we're pretty much picking up with Battle Beast where we met him, I guess you could say, in the pages of Invincible. If you don't know the character, Battle Beast is like this cosmic being from this faraway planet. They're going to name it in a second. And he's basically obsessed with conquest and war, and he's searching for a worthy adversary, someone who can actually defeat him on the battlefield. Like, think the super Viking, like a Spartan conquest super soldier, like a Conan the Barbarian destroyer type character. Just this like allegiance to no one, X Factor Ronin, scouring the stars for a worthy opponent, someone who can actually beat him. And again, spoiler alert, seriously this time, he does finally, of course, meet his match, we know. And what a match he finally meets, right, guys? Holy smoke. And just everyone knows the cape I'm talking about right now, don't they? I'm not showing it or anything. I'm not saying any more about it, but damn, pretty cool what eventually happens here. Anyways, we get a little introduction to Battle Beast with the Guardians of the Globe. So you immediately are like, oh yeah, right, Battle Beast. Oh yeah, the Guardians of the Globe. He hops through a portal and boom, he's back in outer space on his own adventure. Okay, so we're away from Invincible now. We're out of the, you know, the bounds of the Guardians of the Globe and the whole Invincible storyline. Okay, he's on his own. So we've separated him, which is cool. He ends up on this spaceship, what seems like it's somewhere out in outer space near the Earth. And the computer is complaining like, oh, you ate my entire crew, how dare you? There's like a little bit of banter, there's a little bit of dialogue. The thing that felt like a letdown to me almost right away was how, and I'm going to use the word one-dimensional, the character Battle Beast feels because of what he is, right? Just like this like search and destroy monster, which it's a cool idea, but is it a good enough idea? Is it a strong enough character that it can carry an entire comic book? And that was my worry when I saw that Battle Beast was getting his own series. Like, all right, yeah, it's a cool character in that, of course, he's going to have some epic fights. And that's awesome. And the art is going to be awesome. And by the way, how cool is the art already, by the way? There are some major set pieces coming up later in the issue. Very incredible. Ryan Ottley destroying on art. And Annalisa Leone, who's on colors here, it's gorgeous looking. Crazily, and I'm surprised that I'm saying it. Maybe some of you are surprised that I'm saying it, that the writing in the first issue to me felt a little flat. Like, all right, well, is that it? Is that, is that the Battle Beast we're going to follow through his own entire series? So you get a little backstory. I was known as Thok on my home world of Dorne. He tells us a little bit about where he came from, what he's looking for. And this is all stuff you would know if you're reading Invincible, if you've seen Invincible. What I love, and look at this is a great couple of pages. What I love are the references to other characters, similar characters. Here, this reminds me of like that Ronin, almost like a Last Ronin Ninja Turtles, type thing. Here, it's like a King Conan sort of a spread, very King Conan sort of a spread here. And that it's a cosmic destroyer sort of a character is really cool. But I felt, maybe you felt too, that I wish there was a bit more to Battle Beast than just destruction. Like, all right, am I going to feel, some type of compassion? Is there going to be something more to this? Or are we just going to follow him through outer space as he destroys, life form after life form after life form until the Viltrumite War? I don't know. Either way, I'm looking forward to more of it just because of the way it looks so far. It's just stunningly drawn and colored. So this is the big moment, right? Where you get these silent panels of Battle Beast on this other world approaching what looks like a life form sticking out of a well, right? It's very odd. Even he's like, what am I looking at here? What is this thing? It looks like a date or something like that. He eventually ends up talking to it. And it's like, what a friggin' page straight away. As soon as it opens its eyes and its mouth. Okay, the coolest thing about Battle Beast is that it is cosmic, right? It is way beyond our world. And I really like that. One of the coolest things about Invincible itself, the whole series, is that it goes from like that, very common, that high school and home life, kind of growing up with that superhero dad and the struggles that come with that, and then becoming something that spans the entire universe. And it's really cool to go back out into that universe now with Battle Beast. And you're getting that here. So if that's what you want out of Battle Beast, you're getting it because, look, what is this thing, right? This is something we didn't see in Invincible. So the thing, this freaky thing sticking out of a wall, tries to convince Battle Beast to free it. Like, oh, my sister, she took away my empire. I've been suffering here for thousands of years, countless ages, blah, 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 right? The thing is like, aha, got him. I tricked him. He's going to free me. Yes, woohoo. And then the friggin' thing turns out to be this like super freak monster, right? Look at that nail. Of course, the thing doesn't know that Battle Beast probably hoped this was a super giant monster, the Colossus of MCU. The tyrant who conquered empires. I was known as the terror of the universe. Battle Beast must be licking his chops. Like, yes, I'm gonna frickin' this is finally I found myself a worthy foe. So you get an incredible, nasty, gnarly fight scene, similar in a lot of ways to the super gruesome ones we got in Invincible. And straight away, Battle Beast headbutts him in the teeth. Teeth go flying everywhere. Turns out he can regenerate. Look, this is a great few panels where he starts regrowing those teeth. Battle Beast is, of course, not discouraged. He loves it, right? Like, woohoo! That's exactly what I'm looking for. A guy tough enough, to stack right up to me. So the fight scene continues. He's smashing him. He slices off his fingers. He's sword fighting him. He's all sorts of stuff. And then finally, Battle Beast sinks his teeth in. And it's again, like super gnarly, which is awesome too. He ends up chewing his arms fully straight off. Look at the gore. Look at the goo. Green alien blood. And then he finally gets the better of him. You can see right here. And eviscerates this alien monster, right? Turns out, inside the alien monster is this thing. This like weak thing living inside this green goo that's been trapped in there for all time, apparently. Like all this time, been essentially living in the belly of this humongous monster trapped in, the dark side of the universe. And Battle Beast, of course, feeling nothing about it, is like, whatever, come with me, little freak. So he takes the little freak back to his spaceship, and the computer's like, oh, you bring something with you? What's this? And Battle Beast is like, it's food for later. It's not dead yet, so it'll stay fresh longer. And he just chucks it on the pile, and you get this like crying little goofy little guy here. So, and that's it. And that's awesome, except I really hoped, to get to know something about Battle Beast that makes me want to follow him further out into the universe. I don't know. If it's just going to be a comic where he goes out and like kills a thing every episode and collects a little, bunch of friends in quotation marks, fine. But I'm still hoping for more from it. What about you guys? Is this staying on your pull list, or are you giving up early and waiting for a trade? I'm going to continue with it. I think what's most promising is what Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley, really what Robert Kirkman had to say in this letters page. Like, hey, after all these years of Invincible, after the huge success of the show, after the series, it's so great to be back. We want this to be, what does he say? In our first 6 issues alone, he says, you're going to see Battle Beast morph from sci-fi to sci-fi horror to sci-fi fantasy. Okay, cool. I think in a lot of ways, the single issue comic is limited because really, how much can you do in just a few short pages? Even so, I think I was hoping for more storytelling and a little bit more characterization from Battle Beast than we got. Despite that, of course, it's an amazing looking book, and it's one that I'm still excited to see what comes out of. So, if you've been enjoying Invincible in the comics or on the screen, I think Battle Beast #1 is really worth picking up if you've seen Invincible already, or if you're really familiar with the series, because there are spoilers out there. Oh, and guys, Tech Jacket, another character that features pretty prominently in Invincible, another of Robert Kirkman's earlier works, has been re-released in trade paperback form, and that's one we're going to talk about on the show soon too. But because we're heading into the summer of Superman, that one might have to wait a little while. We'll see. Okay? So anyway, if you've been enjoying the show, like and subscribe, and same bat time, same bat channel. See you next week.